I guess our next speaker is really about where the rubber hits the road. This is the Green Building Council of Australia, Adam Beck. Adam's a project leader of Green Star Communities, which I guess Adam is starting to look merely beyond the building at the communities that those buildings make up. Adam's has over 13 years' experience in environment and social planning, with a focus on developing and implementing sustainability tools for built environment projects. Prior to joining the Green Building Council of Australia, he held senior positions with global consulting firms Arup and also GHD, and was a lecturer at the University of Queensland in the sociology faculty. So would you welcome Adam Beck, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I'd also like to thank Ken and the Heritage Council for inviting me along. Now, before too many people run out of the room given time, I'll truncate my presentation somewhat. I've got, I think, about 5 minutes to go. I apologise, I may go a little over that, but I will be able to shorten it down from the initial 20 minutes. I think it's a hard gig, the last one of the day, but I think what I'm going to focus on is complementary to what has been said in the previous presentations. I'm not going to go over any detail of green buildings or Green Star buildings or the heritage response to that. I think you've gotten a really good picture from the previous speakers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the opportunity, probably more so, to give you a bit more of a perspective about how the Green Star tool is at the moment, where it's going, and I suppose give you a bit of information that allows you to probably draw some conclusions around that, and hopefully also for the Heritage Council to sort of understand where industry might be going so that can be considered in their deliberations. This is where it sort of all started for us back in 2003. We started originally a bottle of red wine around a boardroom table in Sydney just after the Olympics. One thing led to the other. The Green Building Council of Australia was formed. Very bold mission to transform the built environment. Very strong words, strong language. Of course, the question was, how the hell are we going to do that? We looked internationally to see what other green building councils were doing around the world, and we did that with the help of the World Green Building Council. And we noted, as Ken has just gone through, there are other rating systems out there in the world, and we thought that was a good place to start. And we took sort of the best of LEED from the US, the best of BREEAM from the UK, put it in a bit of a blender and added a dash of Australian sort of character, and out came Green Star. And this was the first one in 2003. As you can see, it says there, office design. And I put that one up there because more than anything it demonstrates how far we've come since 2003 in terms of industry demanding and needing tools and metrics and I suppose frameworks to think about environmental green buildings. So, you know, by about 2005, 2006, of course, the next question was, well, that's great that you're rating the design of buildings. What about the actual building of buildings? Of course, that's where our as-built tool came in. And likewise, people said, well, why just office buildings? You know, what about residential? What about industrial? And I suppose 7 years on now, we've got a lot of tools, and I'll briefly put them up shortly. There they are there. So that's what's now. I'm also going to briefly talk about what's new and what's next. As I said, it all started with the office design, and office design went from version 1, version 2, we're now at version 3. We still have a lot of office design version 2 projects coming through the pipeline. But over the years, industry has come to us and said, hey, I think we would benefit from a Green Star rating tool for take your pick. And that's how it works. We're a not-for-profit, we're industry-based, you guys own us, and we respond to the market. And we broadly identify the market being public and private sector. We are a forum and a place where government and the private sector get in there and mix it together. The Queensland State Government, particularly in Australia, is one of the most active governments, and they're in there rolling their sleeves up with private sector developers and professional services firms, building the tools. Believe it or not, the GBCA doesn't actually build the Green Star rating tools. So we get industry on board. I've currently got 64 people from around Australia helping me build the Green Star Communities tools, and we facilitate the process. We become the custodian. So we're all sort of mixing around in this soup of industry and government and best practice, and that's sort of the role we play. So we've come a long way when you look at where we started in 2003 with office design. They're the 6 main tools we have at the moment, but remember that each of those 6 has another tool behind it, so there is a design and as-built for each of those tools. So that's now. So what's new? There's 3 that I want to briefly touch on. Green Star Communities, Green Star Custom, and I'll finish up with Green Star Operations because I think that has relevance, particularly to the subject matter of today. Before I do that, I will say that with a plethora of tools and the suite of tools continually getting larger, there is a need, I suppose, to rationalise and make the system more efficient. And I'll start off by saying that we have a number of strategic projects that are underway at the Green Building Council. Not all of our projects are that public because we're sort of tinkering away with a lot of logistical type things. But the single Green Star tool is probably the biggest and will become the biggest project that is emerging from our work. It's been about a year in planning and we're now on the path of developing one Green Star. And for those out there in industry that have used the tools, particularly the multitude of tools across different building types, you'll probably be a big fan of sort of where we're trying to go with the one Green Star tool. Online, integrated, the big thick technical manual goes, it links in with, will link in with case studies, submission templates, examples, sort of a lot of logical things that maybe we should have done quite some time ago.